Okay, welcome to the internNE powered by Aksarben podcast. I'm Shonna Dorsey with the Aksarben Foundation, and today I'm here with...
I'm Merrick Brtek. I'm the Director of Young Professionals and Talent Development Programs at the Greater Omaha Chamber.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. So Merrick and I always like to give like a how we met story, and I kind of can't remember, but I do remember when we were on a panel discussion for the Business Ethics Alliance about, I think it was around artificial intelligence. Is that right?
We were talking about, I feel like, media overall. We talked about social media.
Yeah.
We got into, it was a lot of different things. I feel like we went down a whole rabbit hole.
We did.
Stuff.
Like, I honestly don't remember what the parent topic was, but we covered a lot of ground. But yeah, I just appreciate you in your role at the Greater Omaha Chamber, and would love to hear more about how you got into that role. And then we'll talk about our partnership to support interns and businesses too.
Yes, that sounds great. Mm-hmm. So prior to working at the Chamber, I was actually an operations manager for a financial firm, and I was also running a tap room and an event space at the same time. And those were all three small businesses. So I connected a lot with the Chamber of Commerce in West Point, Nebraska, and I fell in love with what they were doing for the community. I thought it was really incredible, and that team to me is so special because it's one full-time person and one part-time person that runs their entire chamber. And so I just saw the work, and I wanted to be able to figure out how I can get engaged in that kind of work. And then my husband and I wanted to move back to Omaha. And I saw an opportunity open up at the Greater Omaha Chamber to get involved with their Young Professionals program. And it just fit like a glove.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And Heath Mello has been a great partner of ours too. And so when we approached him about partnering with Aksarben and coming up with this process to market the Intern Nebraska initiative to businesses, it just made so much sense. So we appreciate you guys partnering with us on this made up idea that we have, but it just makes so much sense for chambers of commerce across the state to market this initiative to their business members. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But can you tell us a little bit about your role and what you're doing as the Director of Young Professionals?
Yes. So my program is to be a catalyst for attraction, retention, and development of young professionals through engagement, education, advocacy, and opportunity. So we put on events and programming all throughout the year centered around all of those topics, all of those areas, which has been really special and really fun to see how it continues to uplift our community.
Yeah. And how long have you been in your position now?
It'll be 2 years in January. So
excellent.
So every minute.
Yeah, right. So you probably have some great experiences or thoughts or stories even from the past couple of years. Do you have any like of your favorite young professionals connection points or any outcomes that you've experienced?
Yeah. So, I mean, just overall, it's been really special seeing how when I first started, we have a development series we put on. When people first started coming to that, it was silence in the room. People were kind of uncomfortable. And just at our last one, the room was so loud with just chatter and conversation. They didn't even notice I shut the music off because they were so deeply connected with each other and so excited to see each other. And people are so good within the program of grabbing people and bringing them into the conversations if it's their first time and just making it feel like a really comfortable place to connect, which is like my dream.
Yeah.
And so I'm very grateful for the way that the program has grown. But I mean, just individual stories too, where I hear people connecting and growing together throughout is really, really special to me. I took on the program at a time where it needed to be redeveloped and revamped. And so really anytime I can see success through any of the different additions we've made, I feel just so grateful to everyone who's been supporting it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell us more about the development series and what that is.
Yes. So it's our personal and professional development series. It's ongoing. So we do it almost every single month. And it's really any topic that's trending or that we're noticing has been requested or asked for regularly by young professionals, or even like if it hasn't been requested, if we notice that people have been just talking about that subject a lot and we're like, wow, we might need to get somebody in here that can talk about this and help us lead us through it. For example, we did one that was around burnout and resiliency. I just kept hearing over and over again, people telling me how exhausted and how burnout they were. And I was experiencing it just because it's chaotic and friends of mine were experiencing it. And so, there's things that we can do for ourselves to work through that and get ourselves into a smooth space. And so it's like, let's find someone that can teach us. Yeah. So we're taking control of that for ourselves. And so, some of it's personal experiences for me. Some of it's I'm seeing my friends or my family, or, we're hearing it from other attendees. I always try to grab the info from those that are showing up in our space to make sure that we're providing the best information for them to continue to grow.
That's really great. I love it so much because I think that you can relate to this, but I believe that the more opportunities we have for people to connect and build those relationships, I think the more, forgive the word, I just don't like it. I can't come up with anything better though. The stickier our community gets, but the more connected, there it is, the more connected people feel to each other and, just part of a community, right?
Yes. I mean, it's huge. When I left Omaha, so I had been living in Omaha since I graduated high school, and my husband's job took us to a new community for a little bit, and that community was lovely, but it was difficult to connect as an adult and make those friends and make it feel like home. And so coming back to Omaha, I do have a lot of friends and a lot of people here, so it does feel like home to me. But I wanted to create a space that felt like home for others here. Not only is that just the right thing to do, but it also does help in the retention of our talent here in Omaha. So it helps people feel better just personally, but then it also helps our business community overall.
Absolutely. And so that's one thing I really want to impress upon individuals, especially those that work at smaller companies, because it can sometimes be hard to get enough of enough people, enough young professionals together. Connecting them to the Greater Omaha Chamber is a great way to help support building that community and not feel like you have to take it all on yourself to create those opportunities for your staff as well.
Yes, no, we try to figure out where the holes are, what's missing, and be able to support businesses in that way, just because this is my full-time job. People always ask me, they're like, so cool, you do young professionals, but what's your job? And I'm like, no, that's my full-time job. And so that is something I'm here to support and lend a hand. I help organizations too when it comes to their YP ERGs. If they're looking to start one or if they have one and they need advice, I've helped develop budgets for YP ERGs if they're trying to get an ERG approved. For those listening, if you don't know what an ERG is, it's an employee resource group. So look into them. I help establish those, whatever businesses need in support of their talent to keep them there, help them feel supported, not only internally, but in the community as well. That's my job.
Yeah.
So
that's so awesome. And I would just really encourage any employer, whether you're in Omaha or even outside of Omaha, many of the chambers around the state have young professionals focused groups, but definitely get connected to them and don't feel that you have to take this on your own. Plus, it really is helpful for talent retention, like Merrick mentioned, if those young professionals specifically feel connected beyond the four walls of your company or the walls of your company.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and if you are a member of the Greater Omaha Chamber, it's free to participate in our program. So it's a resource sitting here waiting to be utilized.
Yes. That's wonderful. What a great value add. And then I know this is coming up on the end of our time, but can you tell us about any upcoming events that people should be aware of?
Yes, we have a lot of events throughout the year. You can always check them out on the Greater Omaha Chamber website on our events tab. But we have several coming up in November. We have on November 6th. That's our board mixer. We invite different boards from the community to come in that actually have positions available to introduce our young professionals to those opportunities. And then we also have Lunch with Leaders. That's a new event coming up this year on November 20th. And that event is, we have a panel of leaders from around the community coming in. We'll have leaders in the audience and YPs get the chance to ask questions and engage with those leaders from around the community. And then in December, we're doing a resume workshop as well. So we've always got something fun going on.
That's so exciting. Well, thanks for all that you do. It is very important and it is a year-round thing. So not just okay, we're doing intern recruitment or whatever might be the focus at a point in time. It really is important to have those year-round opportunities for students to connect, not even students, but just young professionals.
Yeah. Well, and just to clarify for everyone, we typically are catering towards 21 to 40-year-olds. So, usually that's juniors in college are hitting 21. So interns, please come out and hang out with us too.
Yes.
We have a lot of interns come hang with us, and it's a lot of fun.
Excellent. Well, thanks again. We'll be sure to share info about you and your contact info, and then also the website or webpage for YP.
Awesome. That sounds wonderful. Thanks for having me. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you.